We begin with breaking news tonight. The West Fargo Police Department is investigating after an area police officer's vehicle was shot up. Police say it happened around 11:30 Tuesday night. They say someone fired about 4 shots into the officer's personal vehicle, and it had damage to the rear and front windshields. No one was in the vehicle at the time. No one was hurt. West Fargo police are asking that anyone with information give them a call at 433-5500. The man arrested in a high-speed chase last night in Moorhead is no stranger to law enforcement. 39-year-old Hector Flores is accused of driving more than 100 miles per hour away from officers. Flores is facing a felony charge. However, prosecutors say he wasn't supposed to be out on the streets anyway. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson digs more into this known violent offender.
You may have seen this mugshot before. Hector Flores was arrested last Halloween after a 4-hour standoff in a Moorhead neighborhood that derailed trick-or-treating and prompted people to evacuate their homes. The Street Crimes Unit, as well as U.S. Marshals, were after him and his brother, also named Hector Flores, for each having felony arrest warrants. His brother is serving time for an attempted murder charge, and this Hector Flores was back on the street sometime after the standoff. We pulled his criminal history, which is pages long. He was guilty multiple times of domestic assault, violating a protection order, selling drugs, and assault with a deadly weapon causing injury. We're also told he could have a gang affiliation. So how did Flores get out of jail with so many outstanding arrest warrants? The prosecutor handling Wednesday night's police chase tells me he wasn't supposed to be out. I then called Clay County prosecutor Brian Melton, who hasn't returned any of my phone calls. Court documents say when Flores led officers on a chase in Moorhead, those officers knew he had numerous felony warrants and was known to be a violent offender, which is concerning to some in the neighborhood where the Moorhead standoff took place.
That is very scary. In this day and age that we're living in, anything goes. And for people to roam around the neighborhood.
For now, Flores is behind bars, facing charges related to the high-speed chase and domestic assault, accused of punching his nephew in the face, meaning he could get a maximum of 8 years in jail. Reporting in Moorhead, Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Now, the Hector Flores, who is currently in jail serving time for attempted murder, is set to get out this Halloween. If you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, all you have to do is call our whistleblower hotline, 237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. It's been windy, but pretty quiet today. We're wondering if it'll continue to be calm this evening. Let's head over to the Storm Team Center to find out. Hutch?
Well, for many areas, it will remain fairly quiet. And look at our temperatures leaping back into the 80s, above average for this time of the year. Fargo points west and south. Aberdeen is at 86 degrees. We have low 70s in northern and central parts of Minnesota. As we head through the evening, the radar shows very quiet conditions now, but it may not stay that way all night, as we do anticipate increased amounts of moisture has been taking place from the south throughout the day, with dew points rising to near 70 degrees in eastern South Dakota. Some of that air with more moisture in it will be making its way up. Now, right now we have dry air over our northern counties, but there's a marginal risk of a few strong thunderstorms late this evening, mainly on the Minnesota side of the river in the Southern Valley. Overnight, I think there'll be a better chance in the far south to see some more robust storms. So keep that in mind if you hear thunder and lightning overnight. As temperatures slip into the 60s under cloudy skies, a few strong storms will be possible. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast on when and where we're concerned about, and another chance of severe weather tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Very much. We're now learning more about the Minnesota man at the center of a shocking kidnapping and assault case. Thomas Barker is one of 3 men charged with holding an Alexandria teenager captive for 29 days. She escaped earlier this month. Now, a woman has come forward claiming Barker sexually assaulted her 2 years ago. Barker was charged, but the case never went to trial. Prosecutors say the victim stopped returning their calls. Barker is being held on $100,000 bond in the kidnapping case. He has not entered a plea yet, but his attorney says he expects Barker will plead not guilty. Investigators are still working to figure out what caused an early morning trailer fire in North Fargo. Neighbors reported smoke and fire coming out of a trailer near Broadway and 32nd Avenue North around 6 a.m. Firefighters arrived and broke out a couple windows to get to it. It took them about 8 minutes to get the flames under control. Crews tell us no one was living there, but there was a lot of furniture inside. Damage is estimated at around $8,000, with the home likely being a total loss. No one was hurt. A new report estimates that North Dakota could lose $1 billion in federal funding for health insurance over 7 years under a Republican bill in Congress to replace the Obama health care overhaul. The bill would shift health care money and power from Washington to the states. The analysis by Washington, D.C. based Avalere Health compares projected spending under the current health care law and the Republican-backed legislation. It found that the proposed legislation would reduce funding to more than 30 states, including North Dakota, by a total of nearly $294 billion from 2020 to 2026. The analysis also found 16 states would gain nearly $80 billion, leaving a $215 billion net loss of funding. President Trump signed an executive order mandating additional sanctions on North Korea, which he today called a rogue criminal regime. The sanctions will target people, companies, and banks that do business with North Korea, and he announced the complete denuclearization of that country as America's goal. The president said that North Korea has, for 25 years, been getting away with abuse of the financial system, which has funded its nuclear development program. Identity theft and fraud cost Americans more than $16 billion last year, and scammers continue coming up with new ways to trick you and your loved ones. And that's what brought many people together today to learn how to better protect themselves. This presentation, organized by AARP, zeroed in on older Americans who are often more trusting and spend more time at home and are often more often victimized. But State AARP Director Josh Askvig says we all can use some simple tools to protect ourselves.
Hang up the phone, simple things. Don't send money to folks you don't know that you haven't verified and checked out, so that they can protect themselves and their families so they don't get scammed out of money, or worse yet, get their identity stolen.
The most common scams today involve the Equifax data breach, banking, the IRS, and charity donations. A change of plans today for a Valley City family when their baby arrived before they could get to the hospital. But it all worked out, thanks to a couple West Fargo police officers. Stephanie Kruger of Valley City thought she might be going into labor last night, so she and her husband Dustin were dropping off their son and dog at her parents' place in West Fargo before heading to Stanford Hospital. But the baby decided she wanted to make an appearance before they could go to the hospital, and that's when Mom and Dad called for help. Officers Austin Bagley and Jacob Danielson were first on the scene, and before they knew it, were helping deliver the baby before FM ambulance arrived.
Definitely thank you. It was a eye-opening experience. Hopefully it will never happen again, but if it does, they're definitely here for you and serve and protect.
Probably maybe 30 minutes worth of training in my career on delivering a baby. It's not something that happens very often for any law enforcement agency to help out. Usually it's the EMTs that get there first.
Well done on everyone's part. We're happy to report that both Stephanie and baby Lakin are both doing well and are expected to head home tomorrow. A newly crowned North Dakota celebrity will be making a stop at Valley News Live tomorrow. Miss America Cara Mund of Bismarck will be on North Dakota Today tomorrow morning. Mund is the first contestant from North Dakota to ever win the competition and will be traveling the country to promote her personal platform of Make-A-Wish, the Miss America organization's platform of the Children's Miracle Network, and attend various events throughout the year. You can watch North Dakota Today on KVLY starting at 9 a.m. And if you can't catch the show live, we'll have the interview posted on our website, valleynewslive.com. All the single moms